and welcome back to another video. Thanks for joining me. So in today's video we're going to be looking at the five-bellied toads Paludarium. As you can probably see, it's looking a bit bare. When we moved house, I didn't keep up to date on the maintenance and trim back the plants, so we decided to strip out the plants completely and probably start from scratch. So if this is something that interests you, then please stay tuned. Without further ado, let's crack on with today's video. Hey everybody and welcome back. So as I said, today we're going to be looking at the Paludarium of my five-bellied toads. If you've not yet seen this setup for my five-bellied toads, then I suggest you go back and take a look at the other videos on my channel. So we're just going to run through doing a little bit of maintenance on the tank, and as I said, really planting it completely. I'm going to be using some plants I haven't used before, so a little bit of an experiment and to see how they get along. But I think before we start, I think we need to remove the five-bellied toads from their enclosure, and then we'll make a start on the maintenance and planting in this tank. Okay, like I said, we're going to remove the five-bellies from their enclosure, so we're just going to keep them in this cricky bit for the time being. So I'm just going to remove the lid and add some wet paper towels and moisten that down a little bit so the five-bellies don't dry out while we're actually doing this. Okay, and we'll just remove them from their enclosure. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do today, we're going to try and prepare the plants for planting. So I'll put all the names of the plants I'm using in the description and probably pop them up on the screen as well. I think we'll crack on for now. So I'm just going to remove this fern from its pot and loosely remove some of the soil. By removing the soil, it'll help promote the roots to actually grow into its new spot in the Paludarium. So I'm just loosely going to take some of this off. I'm not going to try and remove it all completely, and then we'll move on to the next plant. And we're just going to do the same with this one. As you can see, it's got quite a nice healthy root structure already. Now with this, I'm probably going to try and break it up into a couple of different sections and try and plant it around the Paludarium. So I'm just going to grab a clump like this and literally just tear it off. Like so. And we can try and plant it around the Paludarium in different sections. So I'll probably break this up again. And 3 like that probably should do the trick. Now, as well as some terrestrial plants, I've actually bought a plant I've got from the pond section at my local garden centre's Aquatic section. So it's safe to go straight in there at the moment. And like I said at the start of the video, I haven't actually used this plant before. I haven't actually delved into pond plants. So this will just be a perfect plant to sit semi-submerged in the water. And I'll probably again break this up into different sections as well, like so. And again, I'll put the names of all the plants I'm using on the screen and in the description. If you can find links to these plants, I'll actually add them as well so you can go and buy them yourself. Now that's probably enough for the time being. I've still got a little bit left of this plant, so I'll probably keep this as it is and try and keep it alive in my room. Obviously I'll need a little bit more water than my terrestrial plants, but we'll see how that does. Okay, so the first plant I'm going to actually use is the fern, so we're going to try and put it in the spot there where you can see a bit of dried sphagnum moss. We'll just remove that now. Okay, so I'm quite happy with how that looks, so I think we'll move on to the next plant. So we've got a little ridge there, I've just cleared out with soil. So we've got a little spot there we want to put some plants in, so we'll go ahead and put those in now. And if you remember earlier, I separated one of the plants into sections, so we're just going to plant one of those there. Try and wedge that in a little bit. Put a little bit of moss underneath it as well. And I can probably add another one of those in there as well. Now I'm just going to add the other terrestrial plant in the corner there. Now that I'm reasonably happy with the terrestrial plants, there's a little boggy area down there. There's a bit more raised, as you can see right in front of you, and there's also a little bit semi-submerged in the water. Both areas hold water, so they should be ideal for these plants. But again, I haven't used them before, and we'll see how they got on. We'll go back and putting those in now. So given where they're placed, they should be okay because the roots are constantly going to be damp, and this plant does recommend that it doesn't be completely submerged, but yet the roots stay wet. So I'm hoping this will be ideal plant for it. I'm probably going to add a little bit now down in the front area as well, as you can see where the Anubias is at the moment. I'm just going to remove and replace the Anubias there, just to break it up a little bit. Now as you can see, that's clogged up the water a little bit. I've actually got a little bit of aquarium substrate in there as well as some earth as well, so just doing that has just caused that to murk up a little bit, but we're going to do a water change in a second. But I think I'm going to plant the rest of the terrestrial plants I had left over as well, down in the front a little bit, just to break up the water areas. I might add some more aquatic plants, and I'll probably steal a little bit of moss from my aquarium setups, just add a little bit more detail. So we'll go ahead and do that now, and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I'm really happy with the way the planting has gone. We are going to add a little few more finishing touches towards the end as well, but I thought I'd first of all do a water change on it and set the waterfall going again and see where we can add the moss. So we'll go ahead and do a water change now and we'll continue to plant. Okay, so the tank's empty. I'm just going to add the water back in now. I just filled up a bucket. I'm going to add some dechlorinator to the water. This is what I use. I use this for my fish tanks as well. I just find it a lot better. It lasts longer, it's more concentrated. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's definitely worth it. So if you're interested in this, I'll put a link in the description. You can go ahead and get some yourself. I'm not getting paid for this promotion, by the way. Okay, so now the tank's refilled, I'm just going to give the glass a quick clean and I'll give it a wipe over and then we'll come back to planting the rest of the moss and the odd plants. Okay, so now the glass is nice and clean. I'm just going to add some of the mosses. So I've taken some Java moss from my community aquarium. I've also taken some Spikemoss from the Angel's aquarium. And we're just going to try and scatter that around where the waterfall comes down now, just to add a bit more detail there. Okay, so I'm just going to add a few rocks underneath the waterfall, just to give it a bit more detail, and I'll probably add a Java Fern in there somewhere as well, quite a small one, and I've just got a Anubias to add then. Now I'm just going to add a few accent stones just to give it a bit more detail. Try and place them as naturally as I can, but it's a bit random, to be honest. I'm just going to add this tiny little Java fern and wedge it in between the rocks. And we'll also add this Anubias Petite as well. Okay, so now we've added the mosses, the plants, we've done a water change, we've cleaned the glass, and just a general bit of maintenance on the tank. So I'm going to hook the waterfall back up now, which is also the filter. Hopefully I'll clear this water up a little bit, and we'll re-add the frogs. Okay, so now the tank is up and running, it's time to re-add the frogs. Okay, so just to recap on what we've done today. So we've added the terrestrial plants in there. I went down the garden centre this morning trying to get some plants. Luckily there's a reptile shop there that sells plants, because if I was to buy from the garden centre I'd probably have to acclimate the plants, be fertilised in them, so it was really good to manage to get the plants so we could put them straight in there and complete this video today. As well as the terrestrial plants, we've also added some aquatic moss and some Anubias and a small Java Fern in there as well. So I hope you agree, I think this tank is looking a lot better than when we actually started. It's definitely looking a lot greener. As you might see, the frogs seem pretty happy. Oh well. And I'm glad really we've got this setup completed now, as it wasn't looking the best when we moved into the room and it did get neglected a little bit. But looking through the setup, as you can see the frogs are going absolutely mad, exploring, seeing what's new. But I think going forward with this tank, I think not much change is going to happen with it. I'm going to just keep on top of the maintenance and making sure we can stay on top of the water changes. Some of these plants may not work, it's just a bit of trial and error, so we'll see how they get on. We may come back and replace some of them, and I'll keep you updated on how this tank is going like I do with the rest. For those who've been watching my series on birds new enclosure, I'll do an update on that very shortly. But as it's going so far, it's doing really, really well. There's some slight changes I'll make, but I'll keep you involved and make a video on that for you as well. Coming up on the next video, I will be introducing you to the newest member of the reptile or fish room or animal room. So we'll do a full video on exactly what that is, and possibly do a little bit of a setup video as well. So I want to say thank you to everybody who voted. I put a post up on YouTube the other day just to see exactly what sort of videos you want to see, and it was pretty much predominantly terrarium builds or paludarium builds. So for those of you that contributed towards that, thanks very much, and you'll be pleased to know there's going to be plenty of that going forward. I've got about 8 tanks that are just sat around empty at the moment, so there's going to be plenty of that coming up. I am stalling a little bit just because I need to make sure I get this room painted. I want to change the carpet to laminate flooring. I don't really want to do too much of that before we start doing that. But that should be coming up in the next couple of weeks, so I'm hoping that we can start setting this room up as I want it, making stands and setting up new animals and new enclosures. If you've noticed, I'm wearing one of my own t-shirts today. As you can see, the Pleco People t-shirt. So this has included my Gold Nugget Pleco Nugget, which was named by one of my followers on Instagram, Elise. So thanks for that, Elise. If you're interested in any of my t-shirts or any of my designs at all, I'll put links down in the description. You can go and check those out. And as always, I really appreciate any of the support that you show me there. Any of the money that I make goes back into this channel and the upkeep of my animals. I've recently joined a new company called Display. They actually make metal prints for your wall, so I'll probably be getting some for my own reptile room. They actually feature my own design, so if any of you are fans of my t-shirts and things like that, then I'm sure that you will like these. They're a really good company. The reason I signed up to them, because any purchase you actually make, they actually plant 10 trees, try and help the environment for every purchase, so I think it's a really, really good cause. So any of the support you can give me there, any support you can show the environment is obviously much appreciated. As you probably noticed, my videos are coming out a lot more regularly now, and I'm going to try and keep this up going forward, try and get a video out each week. As I do have a lot to do in this room and there's constant things going on, whereas opposed to in the last room, I was sort of waiting for it to be closed down and starting up again. So if you're not yet subscribed, then please do hit that notification bell to make sure that you don't miss any of my future videos. As always, I'm always updating on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as Pinterest and various other things, so I'll put the links in the description there. So if you're not yet following me on there, I highly recommend that you do so, just to keep up to date on what's going on. But as always, I really appreciate your support and taking the time to watch this video. But I think that's enough from me and enough from the frogs, and we'll see you next time.